Good evening, everyone. The stream is due to start shortly. I'm glad to see we've got some viewers. If you've not watched a Scene World video before, Scene World is a disc mag dedicated to the Commodore 64, Commodore Amiga, and other home computers. And our YouTube channel covers reviews, news, unboxing, live events, and much more. So I hope you will enjoy this live stream. And we'll wait just a few seconds now until we get to 7 o'clock, and hope a few more people join us. And as you can see, the subject of tonight's live stream is on view for you there. So, good evening, everyone. This is Merman of Scene World, presenting a look at the Atari ST book, Return of the Borders, from Microzeit Publishing and Marco Bredian, the third volume in the Atari ST and the Creative People series. So this is a book dedicated to the Atari ST's demo scene and also to commercial development and programming on that machine, and obviously it also takes a wider look at Atari as a company. And one of the main reasons for looking at this book tonight is that Marco Bredian and Microzeit are currently in the middle of a crowdfunding campaign for the next volume in the series, to be called The Crackers, looking at the illegal scene for cracking games, and that will cover not just the Atari ST but other machines including the Amiga and Commodore 64. So I thought it was a good time to have a look through this book, inform people about the crowdfunding campaign, which is currently at 85% of its initial goal of £15,000. The stretch goals will turn it into a hardback book like this, and so on. And if you look in the notes for this video, you'll see links to Microzeit Publishing and their shop and the Indiegogo campaign for the next book. So let's dive into Return of the Borders. First one was Beyond the Borders. The second one was Breaking the Borders. To all those who must return to their borders. And there's a title page, translated from German by Deep L, edited by Mike Mee, forward by Mark Rosaka. So, as I say, this is the third volume, designed by Stefan Schmidt, and it covers the years 1994 to 1997. I have a bit of reflection off the paper there, a shiny paper. We'll see the little green desktop background. So, contents, forward, 1994, 1995, 1996, and 1997. The addendum, which includes the interviews. And then another feature of these books is the index also includes breaking down into series. So there are several major significant demos previewed here, so you can jump straight to them if you want to look at the demo. Classics from Eclipse, the games company, games to play, features on other related topics, the overviews, special parts, and then, as previously mentioned, the interview section with former Atari ST sceners. So, forward from Mark Rosaka, who's a consultant to the games industry, worked with Atari in Sunnyvale, California during the Atari Jaguar era. And there is the aforementioned 64-bit console. So we start off with the 64-bit offensive. Two classic Atari corn-ups there. Drac Trammell and Michael Tomzik. Business is War. Talking about the CES show where the Jaguar is trying to compete against the earliest virtual reality and the Nintendo 64 and Sega 32X. Early adverts for the Jaguar's killer app, Alien vs Predator. Stats and comparison with the other consoles of the time. Adverts for the Jaguar. Talking about a Jaguar and how the Atari was used in music, particularly referring to what became Steinberg, and then Cubase. It's the forerunner of modern DAWs, digital audio workstations. Jaguar with its large joypad with numeric keypad, which you get the overlays. And now this is the first of the demo pages. So we're talking at the Synergy Mega Demo from Synergy, December 93. You get the credits, a short intro. It's talking about the music technique you can hear, pulse width modulation, a technique seen on the C64 as well as the ST. And you get a spread of pictures from the demo. So some filled and transparent polygons there. That's what Pac-Man, 3D dots, Synergy logo, and a game, a remake of Pac-Man, which was originally going to be a separate commercial game but ended up in the demo instead. Magazines from the era, talking about the Falcon 030 powered by the 68030 processor with its new DSP, digital signal processor, and SCSI attachment. Ports on the back. Dresden Coding Convention 2, demo competition and some artwork there. Fried Bit 2, 1994. Talking about texture mapping. These are little extra bits of info on how some of the graphic techniques mentioned works. And of course, we had cyberspace and virtual reality back then. Of course, it's now more commonplace. More Jaguar. On to the next demo, the Japtro, Japanese dendrote from Holocaust, which featured a lot of manga-inspired artwork, including Goku from Dragon Ball, textured and distorted cubes, and Jeff Mentor here gets a mention for his Atari Jaguar games, including Tempest 2000, one of my favourite Jaguar games, one of the reasons I bought a Jaguar. Looking forward to Iron Soldier, a page full of quotes and about programming the Jaguar, formation of unique development studios and how they wanted to make a first-person shooter. Talking about the difference between the East and West of Europe, the place to be again, demo competition there, Frontier Software by June, the Are You Experienced demo from the Extremely Criminal Organization from August 94, and these are seen as responsible. And this is another one with some amazing polygons. The picture's quite dark tonight. Yeah, lighting's not so great in this room. Jaguar saying it was quite successful in Europe compared to the States. Brave new demo world, looking at improvements into Atari ST art with new resolution. Games made especially for the Falcon, including llamas out there. A list of more than 100 enhanced Atari Falcon 030 games. Distribution of those games. The Bubble Bobble clone. And Dinobusters Plus. Why do they do it? An article appeared in SD format. Moving on to the Atari show in Paris. Next demo here, Digital Chaos is built-in obsolescence from December 94. Again, another piece there talking about another technique, Z buffering, which is particularly important with 3D objects. It also has some great fractals and texture light and Z buffering. And then another spread on Iron Soldier and how that game was developed. And this is the overlay for the Jaguar's keypad. A piece more about the Atari magazines of the time. Obsession, the pinball game. originally for ST by Unique and then transferred to Amiga. Obnoxious from Into Development with that 3D vertex face, and Kai's Power Tools for distorting pictures. More amazing 3D and textured objects there. European Computer Trade Show, March 95. Brave New Atari World piece there. Graphic artists moving on to the PC, and PC certainly improved its demo scene and those more amazing artwork there. True Color Mode. Fried Bits Free. The Lost Blob demo by Laser and Independent, and that famously featured a dancer, Martina, who was digitized, and then that image manipulated in various ways. And you see on here with color effects in the background. Ecosystem from Extremely Criminal Organization, April 95, with some cute teddy bears and its own 3D world. A sea of voxels. EKO banner there from what looks like a racing game, could easily be a racing game. Tribute to other demo groups in form of logos. Stardust from Aggression, who managed to convert it from Terramark's Amiga version. The planned CD add-on is the Duo, combination of CD-ROM and console in a flat design, but not what it might actually turn out. Super Burnout for the Jaguar. A little bit about Marco himself playing the game and how he much enjoyed it. And there's quite a lot of personal stuff from Marco throughout the book and talking about it, his experience, talking about development for the Jaguar and how difficult it was. Double Bobble 2000, brilliant Bubble Bobble clone. There was even a Game Boy emulator for the Atari Falcon and an NES emulator. And by this point, ESCOM had taken over Atari. ESCOM had taken over Commodore, and Atari was still far behind. More Jaguar adverts. Substation, a fascinating first-person shooter set underwater. Talking about cracking on the Falcon. And cracking is going to be the subject of the next book in the series, The Crackers, currently funding on Indiegogo. And then the game is over. At Comdex 1995, Bill Gates gave a laudation on the new digital age. The internet is like a gold rush. And so we're looking at what happened next to Atari in that Jacques Trammell sold out to JTS, the drive manufacturers, with the PlayStation dominating and Saturn falling behind. Project X, which then became Nuon and featured Jeff Minter's VLM, Visual Light Machine. Shareware games, including Bad Mood, based on Ultimate Doom. Falion Software, and who then moved on to become part of Blue Byte, their ambitious role-playing game Albion, which had to be adapted for Windows 95. New editing software again, Photos, Hades and Medusa. Aggressive Party 2, 1995. And a piece about Dismags, including the aggressively marketed ST News and the Undercover magazine. Demos Ex Machina. More demos. I'm talking about Fong shading here. Symposium 96, which is a huge demo party, and that's the hall with the Commodore and PC people in, and there was a separate Atari section. And lots of entries for that. Demo competition symposium, and the next one is, again, apologies for the darkness of the picture here, joint venture from Absence, released in August 96. Aristotelis Corrupted, a rebooting universe, drawing inspiration from Acid House. Amazing picture here, drawn by Stallion, all pixels. Marco talking about his departure from the Atari scene and how he got into Lucasfilm's PCs, adventures, selling off of Atari to JTS. Silicon Convention 1997. Demo competition and artwork there. Sonoluminescence, Sound and Light from Avena. Used the Falcon and its DSP for some of its effects. The amazing metallic shaded dolphin. Let's see if we can catch that a bit better. Unfortunately, we're having issues here with the light. Sonoluminescence. Trying to see if I can add a filter there, but I'm not able to. So metal more metamorphosizing there. A shaded textured asteroid. Strange mutant underwater creature at the end of the demo. Talking about what's happening with Atari in England and Resurrection. Logo art of ModMate in a graffiti style. Telegames, who carried on supporting the Atari. Not just the Atari, the older consoles and the Lynx. Iron Soldier 2. And a piece here about the development of the Cinepack video encoding software, middleware as we would call it now. Inspiration from War of the Worlds and what that did for the game. Planned CD-ROM version. Talking about the challenge between man and machine. IBM's Deep Blue beat Human Chess Player. Last of the Atari parties in France. New PC hardware, ModMate talking about his experiences in the scene. Piece on what's happening in Eastern Europe, in Poland. Still active groups there, some impressive graphics from Poland there. Atari Fair Neuss 1997, 3,000 visitors. It's this German event. I'll look at plans for successors to the ST that were backwards compatible but added faster processors and more hardware. Milan and others. The next demo, again, I'm having problems with the light here. The Dream Dimension from, and I've lost connection. And apologies there, I lost my internet connection briefly. It was quite near the end of the book. But then we go on to the interview section, talking to people in the Atari ST scene. So there's Stephen Tatchell, Tat, a programmer at Sony. Leon O'Reilly, technical director at EA Montreal. Here's Martin Demand, Scavenger, is now a composer and sound designer. Frank Simantau, software developer. And that's a common piece through these interviews, is that people involved in the ST scene are still in the computer scene, are still active. Daniel Hedberg, Kai Teneman, Agent T, freelance animation director and 3D motion designer. Hagen Dieck, Samurai, now an IT consultant. Pierre Turdiman, software engineer these days. Did all these ST pictures with the keyboard. Vinay of Shen Technologies, now working with Oculus Go. Oscar Berman of Unique Software Developments, now also developing for PlayStation VR. Stefan Perez, Sebastian Lanak. And so you can see there is a lot of detail, a lot of interesting stories about the ST. Christian Pick, Matthias Bock, Kai Jordan, Michael Opel, Andres Cabas, Stefan Bentz. And then at the back of the book, a list of the backers on Indiegogo. Talk to Dr. Typo, one of the backers who put in an extra amount. The references from the internet, from magazine articles, from videos and documentaries and podcasts. A complete list of the image credits at the back of the book here. And then the acknowledgements. And I get mentioned myself here for helping with the anthology group. A piece about the anthology series, which is the third volume, as I mentioned earlier. The author and publisher, Marco Bredin. And again, a link to Microzeit. I won't show that next page because there's a rude comment on it. And a back, which says a bit about the demo groups involved. So that is Return of the Borders. It's a fascinating read. Translated from the original German, with Mike Mee helping on the English translation. I do feel the English translation is better in this third volume than the first volume. I did struggle at times with the earlier books. Some of the sentences and phrasing are more how you would say something in German than English, and so the translation wasn't as good, but it's much better in this third book, and hopefully the translation will remain at a high standard for the next volume. And as I said near the start of this video, if you go into the notes underneath the video, you will see that there is a link there to the Indiegogo campaign for The Crackers, the next volume in the series, looking at the cracking scene with interviews with crackers, swappers, the people who wrote the disk copy software, and also an interesting balance to the piece in that there's also comments from the software houses and the people who work for them on whether or not piracy really did affect their business and what it means for software now. And so while a lot of the people in that volume will remain anonymous, you can add your name to it by backing the campaign. And it's currently standing at over 85% of the initial £15,000 target. Hopefully with 10 days to go, we can get to the stretch goals, which will turn it into a paperback, from paperback into a hardback bound like this one, which would make it look even better. And if you check the perks there, you can get signed copies, you can get other books in the series, you can get the postcards and posters that have been perks on the earlier books. You can even get a digital music album of remix and ST inspired music, and money from that will be going to the Electronic Frontier Foundation. And I hope you've enjoyed this look back at Return of the Borders, Volume 3 in the Atari ST and the Creative People. And I hope you'll be able to join me soon for another live stream or for my next premiere video on the Scene World channel. I've got some more unboxing videos, more book reviews for you. Hope you will back the Atari ST book, The Crackers, although as I have mentioned earlier, there will be pieces on groups that worked on the Commodore 64 and Amiga as well, and other machines. And of course, out of the cracking scene came the intros and the cracktros and the demos and the whole demo scene. So read the book, back the books, and most of all, keep enjoying the content we're providing on Scene World. We have podcasts, we have interviews, we have reviews, unboxings, and so much more. So this is Merman signing off for today. You have 10 days left to back the Crackers from Microzeit Publishing. And don't forget to like and subscribe on the Scene World channel.